topic. Hi, it's Nick Hamman from 5FM in South Africa. How are you, man?
Hey, Nick. I'm great. How are you?
Doing well. We're starting to kind of move out of lockdown in our side of the world. And I kind of just wondered, for you as an artist, how you'd been making use of your time over the last year.
Yeah, so basically during lockdown, all the shows were cancelled and all the festivals. So I did a lot of studio time and just created new music. And that was basically what I was doing the last 6 months.
Been reading and watching previous interviews that you've given about your career, and something that really sat with me and struck me as really cool is that story about how a teacher for you was somebody who was a massive influence behind you getting involved into DJing. And it's kind of like, for any teacher, that must be the most validating thing, to know that they were actually able to inspire somebody to get to a point in life that they defined their career. Is it something you reflect on quite a bit, or not really?
Yeah, of course. I'm also always saying I'm one of the few who learned something in school. And it's definitely really, really crazy that just like a fun project he was doing music lessons turned out in my professional job. That's really crazy, yeah.
I've also heard you say before that you're sitting on a hell of a lot of unreleased music. You'd mentioned that you'd been producing and writing during the lockdown too. And I'd wondered, with all of this music that you have, is it quite varied? Is a lot of it sort of, in the kind of like melancholic dance sort of space that your sound is at right now? And how much of it do you think will come out based on obviously the fact that, it's likely that you'll have an album at some point?
Yeah, it's all in melancholic dance vibe, definitely. And because like in the past 2, 3, 4 years, I was just messing around with all sort of styles. And this is definitely the one I resonate the most with, and just the most fun doing it. And that's why I definitely gonna stick to it and keep on doing this kind of music. And when it's coming out, I'm not sure yet, and it also always depends a little bit on how the current single is performing. Like we actually planned to release Why Do You Lie to Me way earlier, but because Breaking Me was just getting more and more attention, you couldn't just put out another one. So it kind of depends on that. But to your question with the album, I would love to do an album, because then you also have more freedom, and you can almost tell a story on like 15, 16 songs and make also different stuff which kind of fits together. So that's definitely something I'm really looking forward to.
Let's talk about the single. I think it's been out about 3 days now, or at the time of this interview. We'll obviously play it for the first time in South Africa on 5FM. And I was curious to know about, the story of how the collaboration side of this came together as well. Lil Baby is an artist who's collaborating with a lot of people at the moment, but the best of the best and the biggest of the biggest. This is massive, right?
Yeah, that's true. He also really blew up the last 6-7 months, I feel. And the collaboration came about like A7S and I, we had the song already kind of finished and written, and then we were kind of thinking that like a rapper would really fit on this record, and I also never had a rapper before on a record, so we were really like, all right, let's do it, let's get a rapper on it. And he actually jumped on it before Breaking Me was released, so that's really like a good sign for that he just liked the song and just wanted to do it. So that's a good sign, I would say.
And it's crazy, sort of to what you're alluding to, the fact that like when you guys recorded the song together, he almost was just about to break, his time was sort of coming after that fact.
Yeah, it's true. I feel like of course he was already big before, but somehow the last 6-7 months he really got bigger and bigger and had another blow up almost. So that's nice. Yeah.
I know we've alluded to this already, but what's interesting for me, is that for us in South Africa as artists and musicians and etc., we're kind of taking things day by day at the moment, because we don't really have a clear indication of, what's going to happen. There's a lot of moving parts to the world at the moment. Are you sort of taking your life and your career in that way as well, and just saying, okay, well, this is what I can control and this is what I can manage right now? Or are you starting to look towards 2021? I think I'm going to be touring again. How much of that is still up in the air, and how much do you have down in plans?
Usually I'm a really optimistic person and always say like, it's gonna be over soon and blah blah, it's gonna be all good. But with this Corona thing, I'm a little bit pessimistic, and I already said like maybe in April or May, no, I'm not gonna play any live gigs this year. And everyone was like, no, from late summer everything's gonna be fine again. But I kind of have the feeling that even 2021 is going to be tricky, I would say. Well,
I suppose, we're all going to sort of just watch the world in real time. And at least for now, we can do things like this. I mean, imagine the last time that something like this took over the world. We wouldn't have been able to have this conversation in two different parts of the world. You wouldn't be able to still have your career be growing, collaborations happening over the internet and singles. So I think, we've got to kind of just use the time creatively and be grateful for what we do have.
Yeah, that's true. Yeah, gratefulness is actually one thing I really learned during that period, and especially like with some stuff like just having the freedom to travel, like how I grew up, it was never an issue, but like 60-70 years ago, still in some countries these days you're not allowed to just travel wherever you want. So it's kind of also like a good thing, like to experience that and to be more grateful about those little things.
Well, I think it's an amazing point in your career right now, and I'm excited that you jumped on with me to do this interview. I'm excited that we get to play the music. Obviously, whenever you're in South Africa, you must come visit us. But for now, as the world continues to spin in this weird way, please just keep releasing music and keep sending it on to us.
Yeah, I'll do. And I definitely come to South Africa. I'm really looking forward to it. Yesterday, actually, someone asked me which country is still on your bucket list, and I said South Africa.
So, well, I mean, we've got a lot of ties to your part of the world, and we'd be able to show you a hell of a lot. A lot of German people live here, so I think that would be really great.
That's true.
You take care, man.
Yeah, you too, man.
Cheers. Bye.
5FM. Watch 5FM TV on YouTube. 5FM.